You know this feeling. Not the loud sound of rejection, but the silence that comes after. The silence of a room where your voice finds no space, where your presence seems to dissolve into the air. It is the feeling of being a shadow in your own life, of watching as opportunities, connections, and respect are given to everyone but you. Have you ever asked yourself, in that exact moment, what makes you so easy to ignore? It is not your intelligence. It is not your intentions. It is something much deeper, a silent leak of power that happens right under your eyes, and that others feel before you even say a single word. This is not just another video with tips on being more confident. Confidence is not something you simply decide to have. It is the result of understanding the unwritten rules of the social game, rules that operate on a primitive and instinctive level. Today, we are not going to talk about changing who you are. We are going to decode the mechanics of respect. We are going to dive into 3 fundamental laws that, once applied, not only force you to be seen, but make you impossible to be ignored. Stay with me, because the pain of being invisible ends today, and it ends not with a shout, but with the discovery of a calm and unshakable strength that already exists within you. The silent status leak. Why the search for approval in your gaze makes you instantly disposable. Let's start with the most subtle and at the same time most devastating place where your power is lost. Your gaze. Before any word is spoken, a silent negotiation takes place, and it is here that respect is won or lost. Think about the last conversation where you felt small. Where were your eyes? They were probably looking for something, a sign of approval, a nod, permission to continue. This gaze, which yearns for validation before even presenting your value, is a status leak. It is a micro-communication that sends a brutally clear message to the primitive brain of the person observing you. I am not sure of my own value, so please, validate it for me. And the human brain, programmed for efficiency, upon receiving this signal, makes a split-second decision. Disposable. This is the real reason why you feel invisible in a group conversation, as if your opinion has no weight. It is not because your ideas are bad, but because your non-verbal communication has already positioned you as secondary. You are asking to be heard, instead of assuming you will be. It is a silent frustration, that of being the nice guy, who is always overlooked, and it is born in this small gesture, in this search for approval. The hard but liberating truth is this: respect does not follow permission, it follows conviction. And conviction begins in the one place you can instantly control, your gaze. It should not ask. It should declare. It should not seek. It should anchor your presence in the space, communicating without words, that you are there by right, not by favor. The first law of respect. The economy of movement. How the human brain is programmed to respect the predator, not the prey. Now I want you to observe your body. Feel your body at this very moment. Is there a subtle restlessness? A need to move, to adjust your clothes, to tap your fingers? Each of these small gestures, which seem harmless, are traitors to your inner calm. They communicate an uncomfortable truth to the world. You are not at peace in your own body, in your own space. In nature and in our social interactions that still follow its primitive logic, there are 2 basic body languages, that of the prey and that of the predator. The prey is reactive, anxious, full of quick and unnecessary movements, always ready to flee. The predator, on the other hand, dominates through economy of movement. Its calm is its weapon. Its stillness projects control, stored energy, and an authority that needs no display. The human brain is programmed to respect the predator, not the prey. When you fill the space with nervous movements, you are, unconsciously, positioning yourself as prey. You are signaling anxiety, submission, and a lack of power over your own internal state. The first law of respect, therefore, is not about learning a rehearsed power pose. It is about unlearning haste. It is the art of reducing your movements to the essential. Speak with your hands, but with purpose. Move, but with intention. Occupy your chair without the need to readjust every 30 seconds. This deliberate stillness is deeply unsettling to the limbic system of the person observing you. It creates a presence that cannot be easily dismissed. It is a physical silence that forces others to lean in, to pay more attention, because their brain registers, on a fundamental level, this person is in control. The second law, the dominion of the frame, the reality of the interaction. a two-step technique to anchor your authority before saying a word. Every social interaction is a silent battle for reality. We call this reality the frame. The frame is the lens through which the interaction will be viewed. Is it a serious negotiation or a casual conversation? Am I here to ask you for a favor or to present you with an opportunity? Whoever holds the frame holds the power because it forces everyone else to react within their reality. The reason you often feel on the defensive or at a disadvantage is because you enter interactions accepting someone else's frame. You react to their energy, their rhythm, their rules. The second law of respect is about stopping being an actor in someone else's reality and starting to be the director of your own. The technique for this is subtle, yet profound, and it happens before any dialogue. The first step is physical anchoring. Upon entering a new environment, a meeting room, a party, a date, do not rush to find your place and settle in. Instead, pause for a moment. Anchor yourself in the space. Use the environment to your advantage. Walk to a window, observe a painting on the wall, pour yourself a glass of water calmly. This deliberate act of interacting with the environment before interacting with the people breaks expectations and communicates that you are comfortable and in command of your time. The second step is visual anchoring. After physically anchoring yourself, only then do you turn to the people. Not with a vague look, but with a gaze that calmly scans the room, making brief and confident eye contact with everyone. You are not seeking approval. You are taking stock of the environment. With these two steps, you anchor your authority. You have established the frame. The interaction begins when I am ready, and it will happen on my terms. The third law, the calibrated silence. Why the strategic pause bothers the other person's brain and forces them to grant you status. Our society has taught us to be afraid of silence. We fill it with empty words, with noise, because the absence of sound in a conversation seems like a mistake, a social vacuum. That is why, when you are asked a difficult question or put under pressure, your first reaction is to answer immediately, to prove that you are quick, that you are in control. But true control lies in the opposite. The third law of respect is the mastery of calibrated silence. Not the passive silence of someone who does not know what to say, but the strategic pause, the most subtle and powerful weapon in your social arsenal. This silence is a tool of psychological pressure. When someone expects an answer from you and you, instead offer a calculated pause, you create a power vacuum. The other person's brain, uncomfortable with the unresolved tension, enters a state of mild panic. It begins to question itself. Did he not like my proposal? Did I say something wrong? What is his next move? In that brief moment of uncertainty that you have created, the power dynamic inverts completely. They, who sought to pressure you, now feel exposed and will often rush to fill the silence you have imposed, revealing information, making concessions, or simply ceding the status of authority to you. This is a way to attack the fear of confrontation. Instead of fighting with words, you win with your stillness. Practice the pause. The pause before answering an important question. The pause in the middle of a sentence to give weight to what will come next. This silence is not empty. It is full of power. The interlocutor's test. A subtle sign in conversations that proves if you have earned respect or if you continue to be seen as a resource. After internalizing these laws, how do you know they are working? The proof is not in a direct compliment or a promotion. The proof is much more subtle, and it reveals itself in a silent test that happens in every conversation you have. The interlocutor's test. This is where you turn theory into practical observation and audit your own progress. The real change is visible not in what people tell you, but in how their bodies instinctively react to your new presence. It is a sign that proves if you have finally earned respect or if you continue to be seen merely as a resource, the functional nice guy who is there to serve, but not to lead. Observe carefully. When you start to speak, do other people pause? Do they fall silent, even if they were about to say something? That moment of hesitation on their part is a sign of deference. It is their brain recognizing that your contribution has weight and deserves space. Another sign. Do they lean in your direction? A slight forward movement of the torso, almost imperceptible, that communicates engagement and interest. This shows that they are not just listening out of politeness, but are being drawn in by your energy. These signs are your metric. They are the proof that you have stopped being the reactive prey and have become the calm predator, whose presence defines the reality of the interaction. Ceasing to be invisible is not an abstract goal. It is a physical reality, observable in the reactions of others to you. The respect you seek is not for sale. It cannot be requested, and it will not be given out of pity. It is a consequence. Today, you have discovered the laws behind this consequence. The law of the gaze, which stops the silent leak of your authority. The law of movement, which transforms you from reactive prey into a presence of calm power. And the law of silence, which gives you control of the dynamic without firing a single shot. These are not masks for you to wear. They are tools so that your true confidence, the one that was buried by anxiety and doubt, can finally manifest without blockages. The goal was never to teach you to be someone else. It was to give you the keys to become who you really are, in your most potent form. The transformation does not happen overnight. It happens in the small decision to hold eye contact for one more second, in the awareness of calming your hands when you are nervous, in the courage to use a pause instead of a hurried word. Each day that you practice this, you are not just changing what others see. You are rewriting who you believe you are. You are leaving behind the frustration of being invisible to become the architect of your own social dominion. The journey is yours. The tools now are also yours. We would like to hear your story. Which of these 3 laws resonated most with your experience? Leave your reflection in the comments below. And if this content was useful to you, like and subscribe so we can continue this journey together.